Most money experts will tell you that co-signing on a loan is a bad idea, but when it's a close friend, a spouse, or even a child asking, sometimes it's hard to say no. So the Fox 5 I-Team's Dana Fowle will arm you with the information you need to protect yourself. Dana, good morning.
Good morning, and I got to tell you, co-signing a loan is almost always a very bad idea. And even the one exception that I'm going to give you, you must be vigilant about how you do it. But on a credit card, there are no exceptions, but I'll get to that later. Let's start with the numbers. Look at that. According to the FTC, 3 out of 4 people who co-sign end up paying some portion of that debt. We're talking 75%. So if you plan to co-sign, you gotta assume the worst, that you are gonna end up paying for part of that debt. You have to ask yourself, can you afford it, or are you okay with it? Let me tell you why you shouldn't be. By putting your name on that dotted line for someone else's car, the loan, or credit card, what you're saying is that you'll guarantee that debt. If they can't pay or don't, then you will. And you will not only pay the debt, but you're going to pay those late fees, you're going to pay the collection costs. Debt collectors are going to come after you too. And let's say the person you're co-signing for, or say, I don't know, a car, stops paying. Well, I've told you the stats on that, so it's likely. You know, that good credit you had, because why else would they ask you to co-sign? Well, now it takes a hit. If your friend or family member is late on payments or stops paying, it is reflected on your credit report. Now, it's not unheard of for the lender to go after you first. Yes, first. You've got the good credit that you want to preserve, so you are more likely to pay. Now, here we go. What about doing this for your child? Okay, let's say they don't really have any credit, they just graduated. You might have to co-sign for that first apartment, but for a credit card, absolutely not. Here's an alternative, though, that's helpful to them. Preferably, while they're still in college, you put your student on your credit card as an authorized user. Now, you got to be sure the credit or the card issuer reports those payments, the timely payments, to the credit bureaus in your child's name as well as yours, so that they can establish credit. You're still in charge. You can keep a close eye on it. If things sour, one simple phone call and you've dropped them from the card.
Oh, wow, this is very eye-opening, and it's tough building credit early on, correct?
It is really tough, and I'll tell you what my mom did for me, and this was such a smart thing to do. When I was in college, I would move from apartment to apartment, and I would go to the bank, and she would co-sign for me here, at least on the first one, to get a short-term loan each time for moving expenses. I think it was like $3,000. Never spent it. Pay it back on time. By the time I have left college, I had a good, solid credit rating from repaying multiple loans. In fact, I don't even think my mom let me have the $3,000. Wow. I think she held it and then paid it back.
So very important. Make sure that you read all the guidelines, go through everything, and keep yourself safe.
It made me look better and more credit worthy than I really was.
Yeah. All right, that's a good thing. All right, Dana, thank you. Great information as usual.